You know what? That's cool. Forget it. Why don't we go?
See the world?
He's got a small package.
Come back? No, please.
Yeah, he does have a small package. You know, that's an interesting observation. You must have been an art major, I'm guessing.
No, Jim.
Jim, right.
Through their eyes.
Not quite sure what this is, but we've got Italian and Braille. Huh. So I guess there are more blind visitors than English speaking. All right, I'll just guess what this is.
Hit the road. With a new reality comedy
What's a wallaby?
about a most unlikely pair.
Hey, check it out. It's David. Dude, that's not the David. It's a replica. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, check out. Check out. Beard? Yeah. It's 9 a.m., dude.
Why didn't they wear pants by then?
Where you going?
Follow them as they explore the globe to find adventure.
This is what traveling is all about. So, you know, that's sort of, that's kind of the idea. There's a little bit more, and it's still work in progress towards the end here, but yeah, that's
right.
So you kind of get a taste for what that is.
So in those little scenes, you saw Rome. You were in Rome.
Yeah.
What other countries were represented in that?
I guess what you've got England in there. There's Rome. You had I think Vietnam. We had a little Vietnam in there. That's England. That's in London. That's Amsterdam. Japan was in there somewhere, I think, right? So yeah, there's a little. There's Japan.
There's Japan right there.
Yeah.
Now, it's an interesting scene right there. Everybody's walking around with their
yeah, you
their
see a lot of
masks
that in Japan. It's very funny.
Really?
I opted not to, so.
And you're okay?
I don't know. I might have swine flu. I have no idea.
That's right.
Sorry.
Your throat. So you go out, you and Ryan, you go out, you get all this footage, you head back to the studio, and then in your spare time,
Oh, we do this at home, in our home studios,
you edit this together.
Yep, exactly. We have it all. You know, we digitize it. You kind of know how the editing process, you're giving me a blank stare.
It's like 2 reels, right? And you cut and paste.
Yeah, you digitize it all onto a hard drive, so it's all computer-based, and we have the same footage on our hard drives, and we just sort of edit it together. I'll literally email him a version of my edit, and he goes through it or whatever, and he'll add and tweak things and add some music, sound effects, give it back. So we just sort of email it back and forth kind of thing, and we'll certainly get together and decide how to move things around and how to change things.
Now, there's got to be a script, at least in your mind. There's got to be a script of some sort. You know, like if this is a show, say if
we have to have ideas prepared for future shows, and they'll ask you that on the pitch. Where are you going to go, and what are you going to do, and what kind of stuff are you going to say?
Yeah, they decide to pick this thing up in some way, and you'll have to come up with a premise where you're kind of the Felix Unger kind of character, and that's Oscar Madison. Are you prepared for that? Do you have in your mind?
Yeah, we have different ideas for different cities that we'd like to go to and what we could do. We have a whole sort of several pages of stuff at home as to what we could do in at the Great Wall of China, what fun stuff, and it's kind of fun to research all that stuff too. You just sort of find out what is in that city that's exciting, that's fun, that people can recognize and understand, and work around that.
So the hope, when will you be pitching this thing?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully at some point this year, if we get, let's say, a 7 or 8 minute, sort of trailer together and get some people excited and send it out there. So yeah, hopefully pretty soon.
I would think as a studio executive, there's got to be a pretty sizable budget for something like this, because now
there could and couldn't be. I mean, you can travel relatively inexpensively now. If it's a small crew and it's a simple show, like you'll see a lot of shows like. On the travel show.
I see that 3 sheets.
Yes, exactly,
or
exactly.
Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony Bourdain, exactly. Some of those are not as big budget as you might think. Certainly you have to fly people around for sure. But if it's a small crew and it's a relatively simple show, just a couple of cameras, it doesn't have to be this, sort of Amazing Race kind of crazy big budget show. So you could do it on a relatively inexpensive budget.
Yeah. So if it does get picked up, how does it all work? Like you and Ryan are the creators,
that all works out contractually. It all depends on what kind of deal we can
historically, like how does something like that, how does the studio make their buck off this thing?
Well, by selling it and selling ad time on the show. So it really depends on your how good of an attorney you have.
Oh, really?
For one, and what kind of deal you strike with them. You'd probably we'd probably be, on the writing team for sure. I don't know if we'd necessarily be in it. We wouldn't necessarily be the guys either. They might have an idea for their own guys. This is just sort of for the presentation, what this could be. They may very well want their own people. So it really depends. It really depends on what kind of deal you get and who is involved and who's attached, and really ultimately how good your lawyer is, I suppose.
Yeah. The shows like, Reno 911, which I think
That's
there's just two
show,
guys for the most. Yeah, it's a very funny show. Two guys for the most part. In fact, those are the same two guys who wrote Night at the Museum. They also wrote
is that right?
the second Night at the Museum, which is I heard that the other day. Oddly enough, on Real TV.
On Reels? The Reels channel or something like that? Yeah.
But is that kind of how something like that started? Was kind of a grassroots concept like this?
Could be. Yeah. I'm not sure what the story behind them are, but yeah, exactly. I mean, you start off with something like this, and once you get a successful show or something successful under your belt, then you sort of build a name for yourself, and it's a lot easier to get meetings thereafter.
Yeah.
So
are you out actively pursuing any acting jobs now? Or are you
not actively, but I'll do some here and there. You know.
When was the last time? Well, I don't know if we mentioned at the top of the show, but you were on the Hughleys, that show that was on some time ago.
Yeah, it was a few years back. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You had a you were on a couple of episodes, anyways.
And I did some commercials out there as well, some local commercials in LA. I do a lot more voiceover stuff now than acting. But yeah, I still do some acting on occasion.
Yeah. Now with the Hughleys, you oddly enough played a Portuguese soccer star. There must have been a wide range of competition for that job, seeing as how you were fluent in Portuguese. That did come in handy.
There were some Brazilians that auditioned for it as well out there, but
Brazilian Portugal is not even comparable when it comes to soccer.
Sure, sure. Or language. Wait, no, they speak Portuguese.
I don't know that, to be honest with you. So you're not really actively pursuing anything right now. You're focused just on the
pretty much on the editing and writing and projects like this.
Yeah,
a couple other projects, not just this one. So
yeah, because you have a website that you and is Ryan a part of that as well too?
No, actually he's not. No, that's a whole different. I've got many.
What's the website that people?
That's called sketchtv.com. And there's a lot of sort of commercial parodies and things like that. It's more of I'd have to warn you, it's more of a PG-13, maybe rated R kind of thing. It's sort of Saturday Night Live-esque, I guess. And we also have some sketches on Funny or Die that I think we talked about earlier. And YouTube channel, Sketch TV, I think, is the name of the YouTube channel. So we actually did pretty well with we had a Valentine's Day parody, and we were number one, I think, for a while in comedies. So our Valentine parody was. So that was pretty cool.
And you mentioned Will Ferrell has a website.
He does. It's called Funny or Die. Yeah, it's been around for a while. Basically, you submit your comedic sketches, much like what we do, and people vote on them, and they're either funny or they die. So they boot them if people determine that they're not funny enough. And we've had a few on there for a while. So never been booted.
Yeah.
Not yet.
That's a good sign. How many people are part of the Sketch TV?
Total, I would say, well, Dave and I, my writing partner Dave and I have a few different writing partners, but I would say that maybe a core group of about 10 or 12 people, let's say, something like that.
Is it similar to everybody knows what the Groundlings are or Second City? Do you guys
not quite? Together? I mean, it's sort of our own thing. It's not quite as organized as something like that, but yeah, we get together. We'll write some parodies and shoot them, and I'll edit them all. So.
So you're the. You're kind of seem like you're doing more work than everybody else in that thing.
Sort of, yeah. I need a pay bump, I think.
I don't know if this
Wait a minute, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah. You should check with that attorney.
I think I need you as an attorney, to tell you the truth.
If you need some help, let me know.
All right.
I've got extreme legal skills.
Do you?
I'm doing it, sure.
Nice.
I'm on a school committee.
Oh, this is true.
Does that matter?
Can you come out to California?
Absolutely.
Maybe, all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So what's next? After this show is pitched, and whether it succeeds or not, is there something else that's in the
yeah, a few other little projects, but none that are, they're still sort of in their early stages. So this one is the most developed right now. But yeah, just a few other little projects that I've got going on as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Train can't stop, I guess.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
In fact, speaking of that, you're heading back out to LA today.
Yes, I am in a few short hours.
You've been home for about a week, right?
Yeah, about a week.
How was your visit back here?
It was fun.
Yeah.
What'd
you do? What kind of things did you do while you were home?
What did I do? Just pretty much hung out with family, And it was raining a lot. I don't know if you noticed that. Very gloomy.
It rains, yeah.
So didn't do any beach trips or anything like that. But yeah, just sort of hung out, relaxed. Brought some work with me, as you see. So I did a lot of work as well.
If you feel the need to hit the beach, Haviland is open. Lifeguards are there.
I might be able to still squeeze in a little Haviland time before my flight, huh?
Sure. It's just like high school with you all over again. Well, hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing your pitch. And
absolutely.
We could say we saw it here first, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.